if I said that inside every student was hiding a secret alchemist ready to be unleashed? Oh, you probably want me to tell you what an alchemist is, right? So in ancient times, there were people who believed they could heal the sick, help people live longer, even create new materials by changing one element into another. Now, modern science has replaced a lot of their ideas, but we can apply this principle to our students, transforming their talents and interests into viable career options. Stepping into this power could allow our students to more readily figure out what they want to do after high school and how they can achieve it. My name is Jeffery Kitchen, and I am a 16-year veteran teacher teaching science and technology. I also am an amateur hydroponics farmer, and I also wrote and created my own steam-based webcomic called The Alchemist Stone. Show of hands. How many of you have either been asked or asked someone, what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, pretty much everybody in the crowd, right? So when I was asked this question, I felt a whole lot of pressure. But I would always answer the same way, a doctor, like my uncle. Mainly because I knew they made a lot of money. But when I got to college, I bounced from astronomy to psychology to biology to finally end up in education. Now, I enjoy what I do, but had I been more prepared, I might have taken less time to figure out my path. Now, I know what you're going to say, aren't there a lot of people out there to support them? But a 2019 survey actually found that about 30 to 50% of high school students actually are undecided on a major or career options by the time they graduate. And about 75% of college students actually report changing their major at least once. Now, we do have college and career counselors, and I'm lucky enough to teach at a school with a very robust college and career readiness staff. But that's not the case at most high schools. So when you think about it, there's a lot of support that is needed to help them. Because the US Census actually found that in 2019, there were about 22,000 college and career counselors compared to the 77 million high school students. So that's about 3,500 to 1. So as a community, we actually need to wrap around and help our students develop their careers as well. After spending 6 years at Drew Charter, getting to observe our college and career readiness staff, being able to teach technology and having the flexibility to create a Genius Hour in my classroom for students to explore their interests, I found that there were patterns in their curiosities, in their interests, and how they evolved over time. It made me think of my students as heroes in the making, just learning their superpowers. It actually inspired me to create my webcomic. Through this lens, I decided that there were ways we as a community could support our students. 4 M's to unlocking their alchemy. The first M is a map. Now, in most stories, the hero's given like a map or a compass to help them find their way. We can think of their interests and talents like these maps, almost like landmarks and street signs along the way to a career path. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of students have some idea of what they want to do and what they like to do. But oftentimes they haven't received as much exposure as we'd like them to have, and they might be reluctant to talk about what they like, especially if they're embarrassed about it. So it's up to us as community members to start those conversations. Asking students what type of people they'd like to help, or what types of problems they want to solve could be breadcrumbs along the way. Also exposing our students to careers they may not know about, or letting them know about talents they may not realize they have. When you put these things together, you can also pull in and ask them about things that may not necessarily be related to school subjects. So noticing that the young person around you is a social butterfly or likes the outdoors, it might not come in handy or be always rewarded in school, but it can go a long way in identifying a career. Also, we need to let young people know that there's more than one path to reach a goal, more than one solution to a problem. This can sometimes relieve a lot of the pressure I know I felt by knowing that I have options out there. The second M is materials. They're the tools that an alchemist needs. In my own story, young alchemists must create a stone that gives them a unique power. But us as a community, we have to expose our students to these tools once they've identified an interest. Having art supplies in a home, for example, goes a long way in helping students practice and pursue art in their free time. Own a small business? Get together with other small businesses to create makerspace nights where students could come in and see the tools of your trade, also to see the spaces that you may work in. This leads us to M number 3, mentors. They're the guides that help young alchemists along the way. In my story, alchemists must find somebody with a similar power to teach them. But in the age of social media, finding a mentor actually is easier than ever. But it takes us to help our students safely navigate this, guiding them to people who look like them, doing the things that they aspire to do. Oftentimes, these professionals will document their work or give free advice, from writers to urban regional planners. Also, we need to encourage our students to use algorithms in their favor. Once you find someone who is doing the thing that you aspire to do, algorithms will recommend more people in that area, including people in your own community. Finally, the last M is mentality. To me, this is the most important M, because it's the way that someone thinks about what they're doing, taking that interest and turning it into a marketable skill. Now, for that, they're going to need actual meaningful practice to figure out what it feels like to be fully engaged in an activity. In my story, young alchemists actually have to get in a flow state or the zone to actually use their powers. We also want to talk to our students about how they can learn from failures. Oftentimes, we have a culture that punishes failure when it can be the greatest tool for learning, helping students know when to pivot or give them experiences to build upon. At the end of the day, we want every single student from every socioeconomic background to reveal their alchemy and figure out what they want to do. But it's going to take a concerted effort from all of us. With our community's help, we can help students by empowering them to recognize their talents and turn them into uses and create things that will transform our world. Thank you.